Good morning. Happy Friday. How are you all today? I wish I could see everybody in person. It's so much more depressing to talk to you all on video. I wish to have a big Year of Questions festival. Anyone else think so? Maybe this has already been mentioned. Anyway, so, oh yeah, my fork. That's because we didn't have any more spoons left, and it would poke my tea bag if I stuck the pointy part down. So you can tell that I'm drinking tea because the fork is up. So there. Anyway, my question. Today's question is, do you like analogies? Which is kind of a random question. Just tell me your thoughts about analogies, because I want to talk about analogies. I love analogies. I think in analogies. When I debated, I use analogies all the time. Not that they were always good ones, but when I did use them, they usually worked. Yesterday, I realized I had to share a devotion this morning for everyone at the house where I'm staying, and I didn't know what I was going to talk about. Because, some people, they're really good at sharing a story and applying that, or about interpreting the Bible and understanding some biblical truth. I'm not so much, but I can use analogies. So, I talked about something that I've been thinking about for the last few months, which I thought I would tell you all about as well. As Christians, it's like we are trees planted and rooted in God and getting our sustenance from His water and sun. And so I was looking at verses 3 and 4 from Psalms 1, and talks about how the man who follows God is like a tree planted by streams of water, who bears its fruit in season, whose leaf does not wither. Whatever he does prospers. Not so the wicked, for they are like chaff that the wind blows away. So I got to talk about what it's like for us as Christians to experience different seasons in our life of maybe just beginning to grow and budding and having to deal with a frost that'll maybe freeze up all of our buds that we're trying so hard to grow because God has given us new life. But that, because God is trustworthy, we can continue to grow. I talked about maybe you can reach past the spring and the new growth, and you get to the summer when you finally get to your full capacity of growth, and you're all leafy, and maybe you can even be able to do some good in the world by being a shade tree, and you feel pretty good about yourself because you're growing. My summer was like that. It was awesome. But then you get to the fall, and your leaves start falling off, and you go, what's going on? I had all this growth that I tried so hard to do, and now it's just falling off. And that's pretty much what happened to me this fall. There's a lot of things in my life that I was so proud of that I had grown in, and so happy that I was finally learning all my leaves, but then I realized that they were all dead inside of me because I tried to keep them for myself. I tried to own everything I was learning and become righteous by what I was doing. But God told me that I have to offer up everything I have, even the things that I think are the best about me, to God in order to really follow Him and serve Him. It's not just about getting rid of the things that I can see are sins, but everything in my life is an offering to God, even the parts that I thought were good. So this fall I had to be willing to let go of everything and let everything fall off as dead leaves in order to stay true to God. And then came the winter. And I think of the winter as a time of great silence. So I was really afraid that the winter would just be completely silent from God, and that I wouldn't hear from Him, and I would just have to kind of go on some sort of blind faith, believing that He is there, because He is, but I just have to go off of that, and I wouldn't hear from Him. So I was really nervous about the winter, but then snow happened. And snow is amazing because, yeah, everything is cold. Maybe you're not budding or growing in God directly. You're just feeling all frozen over and wondering if God still is there, if He's going to come back and keep your heart warm inside and keep you growing. The snow reminded me that God has not forgotten about me, because all the things that had fallen off, all the things that were dead in my life, suddenly they were covered over as if God didn't see them anymore. I was completely forgiven. And that was just really beautiful to me, that God covers every part of us, all of our dead pieces, over with snow. And so the only thing He sees is whiteness. And He gives us a chance to be remade. And He sees us all over again, as if all the things we had done to sin had never even happened. This year I've learned a lot about the fact that God is faithful, and that just because things change and circumstances are really different doesn't mean that God has forgotten about us. Just that you need to learn something new. And even if you feel like you're backtracking in your spiritual walk, what God is really teaching you is to make yourself new. Things can't ever be the same as they were before, but God makes us new, and so that instead of repairing what had gone wrong in the past, instead of God giving me my leaves back, I have to grow out new leaves. So those are my thoughts to you about my analogy for today. Do you all like analogies? You should tell me about it. Yeah, bye. Also, the song Snow by Sleeping at Last featured in my devotion today. You should all go listen to it.